hang out here. In the meantime, I will introduce myself. I'm Nora. I am Winterline's Admissions Advisor. I've been with Winterline for almost 2 years now, talking about gap years and sharing the program with people. I studied abroad when I was in college, which is what really drew me to this, is the international education and the hands-on experience out in the world. And it's really great to share it with other people. And we also have with us this evening Anna. She is our intern as well as a recent graduate. So Anna, if you want to share a little bit about yourself and your experience with the program.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. So I just completed the 2017-2018 program. So I graduated about a month and a half ago in May. And I had a wonderful experience with Winterline. I mean, I'm an intern now, so I think that that's pretty telling for my experience with Winterline. And one thing I specifically loved about the program was how hands-on it was with the skills. That was really what drew me into the program. So I'm really excited to share that passion for Winterline with other future students and answer any questions they have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll give ourselves just another couple minutes. But I hope everyone is having a wonderful Thursday and you guys are ready to learn about the program. We are going to be sharing a PowerPoint in a bit, so I will open that up soon. Anna, do you want to tell us a little more about your time with Winterline?
Yeah.
Maybe some of your favorite destinations and your favorite skills from the program?
Yeah, that sounds good. So when people ask me what my favorite country is, it really depends on any given day, but Costa Rica was one of my favorite countries, and specifically Monteverde. That was where I did my first independent study project, and I stayed with a host family and did a 5-day Spanish immersion class. And I learned more Spanish in those 5 days than I did in like a full semester of high school. So that was a really powerful experience on Winterline. And then my independent project in Europe was actually in Paris, and I was able to do a lot of cooking throughout Winterline. That was a big skill we did each trimester. And so I wanted to do French cooking in Paris. So that was a lot of fun. That was definitely one of the highlights of the trip. So cooking was a lot of fun.
What was your favorite thing you cooked?
My favorite, I did one class that was classic French sauces, and we learned 8 different sauces, and I wasn't expecting to like it that much, and I had never really learned much about it, but it was my favorite class. I mean, some of the like pairings that we did with like bread and like some sauces that we made were just like amazing, and it was a lot of fun.
That sounds great. I could use with some cooking skills myself. Okay, so it's been a couple minutes. We're going to go ahead and get started. So let me just share the PowerPoint with everyone. So again, thank you everyone for joining. Let's dive right into it. Winterline is, as you may or may not know, a 9-month gap year program. It visits 10 countries and it teaches students over 100 different life skills. Just to start off with some basics, this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to start off with why take a gap year, then we'll jump into what makes Winterline special, why you should consider Winterline specifically as a program. We will go into a bit of a program overview. We'll jump more into the independent student projects. Anna's going to step in a little bit there and share more about those. She can elaborate a little on her time in France. And then we'll finish off with some quick student testimonials, and then we'll take some time to answer questions. And just so everyone knows, we do have a chat box available. My colleague Cara is in there answering questions. And Anna's available there as well if you have any questions specifically for an alumni. So let's start off with the benefits of a gap year and why you should consider taking one. Gap years, they give you a lot of benefits post-gap year, especially directly when you get to college. You can see them pretty immediately. 90% of students who take a gap year go directly back to college. And when they get there, they maintain a higher GPA than their peers. They take on more leadership roles, and they tend to graduate faster than their peers. And there's a lot of benefits beyond just college as well. You can find gap year students tend to find that they are more employable. They feel an increase in self-confidence and independence, and they discover new passions. A lot of students who take gap years really return to school with a much more direct focus and a better understanding of what they want, both in college and in their career beyond. So Winterline is open to anyone between the ages of 18 and 22 at the start of their program. We offer college credit during the program. You can take a handful of credits. We're really just looking for students who are ready to take on the adventure of the program. It's a really exciting program. You do a lot of stuff, and so we're looking for those who are excited about traveling, excited about learning, and excited to see the world. So what sets Winterline apart? Our focus is on skills, real skills for the real world. And so that's basic life skills, personal finance, cooking, learning how to drive a car safely, learning how to fix a bike. There are career-oriented skills such as robotics and business, entrepreneurship, public speaking, hospitality, and then you get some fun skills as well. So, you know, the defensive driving is a really great life skill, but it's also exciting to go to the BMW school and drive some cool cars around. Students get their scuba certification as well. And then there's some art appreciation when you're in Italy. And so there's just a huge width and breadth of skills. It's a great chance to try out a lot of different things if maybe you don't really know what you're looking for. A lot of students take a gap year because they don't know what they want to study in college. And so Winterline really gives you the chance to explore those different areas and discover new passions or kind of hone in on which ones you like the most and you care about the most. And the way students learn skills on the Winterline program is that we have partner organizations that we work with. And so the students visit with those organizations and learn the skills directly from the professionals there. And so we've got regional directors who are in each region that the students visit who find those amazing partners that we work with and meet with them to create the best curriculum that we can. A little more about the partners. We just have some examples here. And so like I mentioned, the BMW school, Grasshopper Adventures, which is a bike program in Southeast Asia, so that the students, that's where they learn bike repair as well as getting to see some of the area. They go on a bike tour as well. So in addition to the skills and the training that students are getting, we're also making sure that we incorporate cultural immersion into the program as well. We really want students to get to experience the places they visit, appreciate them, and learn about them. But we work really hard to find the best partners that we can. So as I mentioned back at the beginning of the program, of the slideshow, Winterline is a 9-month gap year program. It visits 10 countries and it teaches 100 different skills. Just a quick at a glance, coming up for our 2018 program, our first 2 cohorts will be leaving September 11th of this year, and the program will end for them at the beginning of May next year. And then we recently added some exciting new dates, a 3rd cohort of students, and they will be beginning the program on September 30th and finishing up on May 26th. Do keep in mind the program has a winter break as well, so students can go home for the holidays, take some time to see their family and friends, you know, catch some sleep during the program, and then return refreshed and ready to go. The program is $55,000, and this is all-inclusive, so that covers tuition, it covers travel during the program, it covers all of the food and housing, and of course the skills training as well. We do offer scholarships and financial aid. We have need and merit-based financial aid as well as work-study scholarships. The work-study scholarships are a really great opportunity for students to contribute to our social media. And they get to work with our marketing manager as well. And so it's a great resume builder, way to build some more skills and help with the cost of the program. And just a reminder for anyone who may have joined us a little late, we do have a chat box if you have any questions. My colleague Cara is there answering questions for you. And our intern and alumni, Anna, is available as well if you have any questions specifically for alumni. And then I just have a couple of partners listed here, just as another quick highlight of some of the great organizations that we work with. There's Knowles, who is an outdoor program. They've done our orientation with students every single year since the program began. We have really positive feedback. The students love it. And then Monteverde Institute is another really popular one down in Costa Rica. Students get to really connect with the local community when they're there and take some time outdoors, and that's always been really positive as well. So just a quick overview of the program now. The program begins with an orientation, as I mentioned, with Knowles. This year it's going to be in the American Southwest and kind of the Phoenix area. Students will do some community building, get to know each other a little better, develop some leadership skills, and then they will go off on a hike, which will really help bond them together, and of course teach some wilderness skills, some cooking outside, and they will also get a wilderness first aid certification, which is really great. After orientation, students head to Central America. And the program is split into 3 trimesters, and so the first trimester is the part in Central America, and each trimester is kind of designed around a certain theme. So the first trimester is living in our world. It gives students the opportunity to really explore their relationship with nature and with the environment, with our planet. And so, for example, some skills that they'll learn then is marine ecology, some permaculture. That's when they do some of the water skills like scuba and kayaking as well. There's also a pretty heavy focus on the cultural immersion, especially in that trimester. In the second trimester, students head to Asia. They go to Thailand, Cambodia, and India. And they begin to kind of focus more on skills that have to do with the person, community, commerce, self-help skills. So some things they learn there: conflict resolution, cooking, urban safety, hospitality, self-care. And then in the third trimester, students head to Europe. They go to Italy, Germany, Austria, and the Czech Republic. And then they head back to Boston at the very end of the program. And that trimester is really going to start developing more those personal skills, those career skills, the things that will really help students in the future after the program. It's also when students do their independent study project, their ISP. There's one in each trimester. That's going to be the biggest one at the end, though. And that's something that students begin planning from the very beginning, and it's something they really work towards and build the skills to complete successfully throughout the program. It's kind of like the cherry on top of the program. But some of the other skills that they complete during that third trimester, career skills like public speaking and personal finance and entrepreneurship, and then some of the arts too, like photography and mask making. And Anna, I will hand it off to you to talk a little bit about the independent student project some more.
Awesome. Thank you, Nora. Yeah, so basically the ISP stands for Independent Study or Student Project. It kind of depends. But the ISP was one of my favorite parts of the Winterline program, and I think it's something that really sets Winterline apart from other gap year programs, because the ISP really encourages students to get the freedom that they want each trimester in what they study, with whom they study, and where they study. So the first ISP takes place in Costa Rica, and there's a variety of different things you could choose. You stay with a host, with a homestay family, And I personally, like I mentioned earlier, I did the Spanish Immersion course. So I spent 5 days. I did a little bit in the classroom, and then I also hung out with my professors. We went to the suspended bridges in Monteverde and spoke in Spanish, and I learned how to make corn tortillas, homemade, and all that type of thing. But there's also a lot of other options. Some students did, they worked on a coffee farm, which was really cool. And we actually got to buy some fresh coffee. One student did foot reflexology. Another student did tree climbing, and they built a sloth bridge in Monteverde. So there's a lot of options there. And we were independent, but we were all in Monteverde. So we weren't away from the rest of our group. So I was able to hang out with some of the people, or I felt like I was being supported by the group, even though I was independent. And then in the second trimester, your ISP will be in India. And this has more of a theme of self-care. So there's a few different options. You can choose to do an ashram and learn different yoga principles. You could also choose to go to an Ayurvedic clinic. That's what I did. And I learned a lot about meditation and Ayurvedic principles, which was really interesting because I had never learned anything about that. And then you can also go do organic farming. So there's a lot of options there. And for that ISP, you're with a small group of students, but you travel away from the group. So you're gaining a little bit more independence. You're not with your field advisors, but you're still safely like with your group of with fellow students. And then in the third trimester, this is my favorite ISP, and it's usually most people's favorite part of the entire year. But the ISP in Europe is completely independent, and it's something that you start planning for in the first trimester. So you have the support of your field advisors and the Winterline staff, as well as your peers, to help you kind of figure out what skill you want to learn, where you want to do it, how you'll be able to use your budget that you're given to find a hotel and to find transportation and all of that. So that's where, and if you look in the bottom right picture, that's me holding eclairs that I made in one of my French cooking classes. So I traveled to Paris, and I was there for a little bit over a week, and I did French cooking classes, and it was by far one of my favorite experiences of Winterline. It gave me so much independence, and now I feel a lot more prepared to do independent traveling outside of Winterline and outside of college. So yeah, overall the ISP process throughout Winterline, it enables students to become much more independent, and it's a really unique part of Winterline.
Thank you, Anna. Appreciate your insight. Just to jump into a couple quick testimonials, as I mentioned before, gap years can have a really great impact on students. You'll be more prepared for college. You'll have a better idea of what it is that you want to be doing when you get there. And it's a really great way to discover passions. As I mentioned before, the breadth of skills that we offer will really give you the opportunity to check in with those passions and just discover new ones, develop old ones. And I think that the ISP, in addition, is a really great tool to do that, to really kind of pick something that is important to you and that you want to learn more about. So yeah, here's just a quick glimpse at different ways that you can connect with us online. I know that sometimes once the program starts, we're in the summer right now between programs, but once the new program begins, students will start posting as well. So Instagram is an especially great tool. We post pictures on our Facebook all the time too. So it's a good way to see kind of the program in action, what students are doing. And now we will take a couple minutes to answer some questions for any people that have any. We'll take a moment and see what we have. One question I get a lot is about the application process. I will take a minute to discuss that. So the application process is very simple. It begins with an online application program, an online application for the program. That application is really quick. It's pretty simple. It's just 4 steps. It won't take really more than an hour to complete. And once you do that, you will have a Skype interview with a member of our admissions team. And then once all of that is complete, the admissions committee will review your applications and make a decision. It's rolling admissions, and so it can happen really quick. So if you're ready to go, it won't take you long at all. Let's see some other questions that we have here. I see, how does college credit work? So we are partnered with Western State Colorado University to offer some credits for the program. Right now, we offer credits for some of the NOLS experience at the beginning, as well as the wilderness first aid, and then some of the project planning that happens in the first trimester. And so that college credit is awarded through Western State, and then you can check in with your college to see how those credits will transfer. And a really great aspect of that is that it also gives us the opportunity to accept funds from 529 accounts. So if someone wants to use their 529 account to help fund the program, they can do that. Age of the students I'm seeing here. Some of the program is open to anyone between the ages of 18 and 22 at the start of the program. As far as US versus international, we don't have any restrictions there. It's open to students from all over the world. How many kids go on the trip? We cap groups at about 16 students. And this year we are expecting to have 3 different groups. And so you will travel with those students as well as 2 field advisors. You'll have 2 field advisors for the first trimester. And then a different 2 field advisors for the second and third trimesters. And that switch in field advisors really gives the students a great opportunity to be mentored by a lot of different great role models throughout the program, meet different leaders. Is there a winter break? Yes, there is a winter break. It's between the first and second trimesters. It gives students a chance to go home for a couple weeks to reconnect with their family and their friends. Maybe do some new packing before they head back into the field to Asia. What are accommodations like? Accommodations, it really varies a lot depending on the partner that the students are currently working with. And so sometimes, like for the hike in the beginning, students stay in tents, but more typically, students are staying in hostels, hotels, dorms, or homestays. And all of the accommodations are vetted by our regional directors before the program even begins. Let's check in with Anna for a couple minutes, see what else she has to share with us about the program. Anna, do you maybe want to talk about something you wish you knew going into the program?
Yeah, definitely. That's something that people ask me a lot, actually. And I think overall, the program is really exciting when you first look at the website, because it's 9 months, 10 countries, 100 life skills. And it's really easy to kind of see it as this fantasy program. And so for me, I wish I had gone into the program with more realistic expectations about the fact that I'd be living in a group of people. I mean, I had a very positive experience with Winterline, but because I went into the program just expecting to learn skills and to travel the world, and I didn't have the mindset of, oh, I'm going to be living with people who are my age, and I have to learn how to do conflict resolution with people who aren't my family and that type of thing. That was definitely a big reality check for me and a lot of other people in our group. Mm-hmm. So I definitely think I just wish I had known that it would be more I don't know what the right word is, more a bigger part of the program to live with your group, I guess.
And kind of like in the same vein, something I hear a lot from students who are getting ready for the program or considering the program is concern about making friends, because a lot of the students join the program on their own rather than with people they already know. So can you talk a little bit about that process?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of my big pieces of advice for people who are either thinking about Winterline or who are future Winterline students is to go out of your way to become friends with people you wouldn't have been friends with in high school or in your hometown. Some of my best relationships from the program were actually with people, and still are with people. I mean, I keep in touch with all these people every day, but they were with people who in high school I typically wouldn't have been friends with. Our interests just weren't similar enough, or we didn't have the same passions or whatever it was. So my biggest piece of advice is to really like go out of your way to become friends with people who you feel like you don't have a lot in common with, because you'll actually find that you do have a lot in common with those people. And at the end of the day, after 9 months of traveling with people, whether these are people you immediately like, or that it takes a while to learn to like them, or whatever it is, they become your family. And I stay in touch with every single one of those people from my group. We have a Snapchat group and a text message group. So they do become your family. And I think that that's something really important to mention.
Great, thank you, Anna. And I think that about wraps it up. I'm not seeing too many more questions pop up here. So I think we can finish up here. You can reach out to me anytime. My email is nora@winterline.com. It's right there on the screen. And if you want to hear more about Anna's experience, she's been writing a lot of really great articles on our blog, so feel free to check that out too. Another way to reach me is the little chat box on our website. It really is me, it's not a robot, so come say hi and ask any questions you have. Thank you all so much for attending the webinar, and I hope to hear from you. Have a great night.